Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your fast lunch. I see Rafael is with us. Actually, Rafael is our first speaker for the risk contracts and claim pillar. Rafael has a strong background in engineering and management. He holds master's level degree in civil engineering with a specialization in hydraulic and energy engineering. He also holds a PhD with a distinction in project management and design, an executive MBA from the University of Barcelona, and an advanced diploma in materials engineering. Professionally, Rafael has more than 26 years of experience managing large infrastructure projects, especially in transport, construction, and hydraulic system. Much of his career has been in the international environments. Over the last 8 years, he has held senior management positions and led complex projects at a high level. Today, he will share his practical experience, his professional perspective, and insights that will be very valuable for all of us. So please join me in welcoming Rafael Esteban Naro. Rafael, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everyone. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to share the presentation. Okay. I guess that you can see it. Okay, thank you very much for this introduction. And as mentioned, this session is going to be about integrated contract management, claims contracts, and risks in resource-constrained operational teams when we don't have the perfect picture of a project management office on site, and the learning objectives that we are trying to get in this session are mainly how to recognize the contractual triggers in daily operations on site, how to apply for like a simple 4-habit framework in order to deal with contractual events and in this context of lack of resources on our staff, and how to provide also with some practical tools to integrate this contract management in our construction teams, in our production and operations teams, and to understand how to create like a contract management culture or philosophy, a way of behaving of our teams. I already has been introduced, but I want to clarify that this session is about that, about my experience and like when we don't have the perfect picture of project management office, how to deal with that. And this is not about theory but I have this background of theory and according to my education, my academic CV, but also about my experience. And I've been involved in big contracts, like with all the perfect picture and so on, but also with, and actually more frequently, with small and medium contracts that we have to deal with them. So starting with as an introduction, I'm pretty sure that most of us have noticed frequently the gap between theory and reality regarding contract management on site. On the one hand, we have this textbook set up with a dedicated contract manager or a mature professional project management office, and with all these formal procedures and specialist tools and all this stuff. I mean, the whole picture. But this is, as I said, this is not like frequent, and we frequently have to deal with reality on site, with the scarcity of resources, and we always have to deal with, especially in not that big contracts, in small and medium contracts, where the operational and contractual issues have to be solved by the technical staff. We have the operations team or the production team. So this is like something that really usual. And this session is about that, not about the theory of contract management and so on. I don't want to be misunderstood in this aspect. So, and mainly the worst thing in this kind of contracts is that we have to deal also with clients, but this is always a problem. But in small contracts is really some clients frequently they don't expect or they are not used to a contractual management in the same way that big projects are. I mean, clients in big projects, they are more used to dealing with that, but in a small contract, it's not so frequent. So we have to avoid also this behavior, this philosophy to be spread on our team. So we have to avoid like this attitude of contract management is not something important or something we don't have to deal with. So, and actually the consequences of not having this contract management in the small and medium contracts are like very serious, like miss claim opportunities, late notifications, decisions made without any traceability, or what takes us into real cost, but not only money, but the loss of ability to defend against claims of the client that sooner or later they are coming. So the roadmap that I'm going to follow in this session is I'm going to show like the core idea, these 4 habits, about something like a framework for our teams to follow, a toolkit as a practical and low-cost templates that put these habits into practice, and how to deal with people. That something that for me is the most important thing. So sorry for being so insisting, but I want to clarify that this is like in a specific context of where we are integrating the contractual management with the operational and production management. So starting with the core idea, you have there in capital letters, like contract management is not a department, it's a habit of the production team. This could sound as something against what we learn about project management and so on, but in the end, in this kind of situation, in this context of lack of resources, we have to face it like that. We have to face it in this way. We don't have any other opportunity. So as I said, in this context, it's not about creating something new, a person, a department, to separate the contractual management of the operational management, but about integrating this contractual awareness into what that really exists. I mean, all the tools that we have, site meetings, daily logs, weekly reports. In the end, the way of behaving of our technical staff, our production team. So the consequence that we are looking for is like a contractual awareness, understood as a shared responsibility of the production team and not an exclusive function of part of the team or something, or the part that we dedicate specifically to contract or whatever, is to have it like integrated in the whole thing. So starting with these 4 habits, like some simple habits that we have to take into account with our team. We have like a core framework. I mean, the basic sequence that we have to know, and our team has to follow. Detect, document, escalate, and decide. We have to get these steps and habits, as I said, being part of the behavior of our operational team as something they do automatically. I mean, they don't have even to think about that. It's something like integrated in their daily basis, in their daily work. First one is detection. as the ability of the team to notice all the possible triggers that we could have. I mean, verbal scope changes with the client or with the engineer, site conditions different than the one we expected or the one that we had in the contract, different boundary conditions, delays of the client or other parties, third parties, or some items that we don't have in the contract, interferences with other works, other contractors, with I don't know, some contracts that are related to the one that we are doing, and so on. And this part of detection is about training the team to recognize the pattern, to recognize what is an issue from the point of view of contract management and what is not. And we don't leak a legal analysis here, like they to be like every time analyzing this is like a claim or not or whatever. It's just like the ability to detect what is a possible issue. And there is no legal background required or whatever, only like a training to our team in this way. Second is documentation. I mean, as the answer to this question, what do I need to keep today to explain this in 6, 9, 10 months when the claim is released? In this case, we have like 4 kinds of viable evidence. I mean, pictures, dated pictures, photos. They have to understand that we have our mobile phones and so on. So it's really easy to get like a report to compile all these pictures and information, graphical information. Also, it's really important to have a structured SAT diary, and it's something that we do actually in our company, to have like a part of it specifically dedicated to incidences, when we reflect like everything, and then we decide, as we will see in the next part. And what I said, this site diary having like an incidents part, and also the confirmation emails. I'm always teaching to my team to understand that we don't have to worry about writing or communicating by email and so on, but even it's really important to have it. They don't have to be afraid of communicating in this way with the client and so on. So it's really important that we have this, or confirming some kind of instruction, verbal instruction or whatever. And also the short meetings, not the specific meetings that we have with the client. These short meetings, we have also to understand that if there are some kind of key points or something that we need an confirmation, we have to write this and to leave like a confirmation about that. And this part of the documentation that we are always like very lazy to do it, and it takes us to do it. It's really important not to be seen as an extra workload. I mean, it's not a new system, but something that is integrated in our operational daily basis, what I said. The philosophy is like that always, but specifically is really important for the team to understand it as like that in documentation. So then once we have documentation and so on, then the decision to escalate or not comes, and the team has to decide whether the issue stays in the decks of our team or goes up to the next level. For this is really important, like to have like these 3 levels of escalation understood by our team and really clear. Like the site team that tracks and monitors all the things that are happening, the project management that assess the impact about time, cost, risk level, and so on, and then the senior management or our legal support or whatever that takes the formal action. So it's really important also in this part of escalating that then to understand also that not everything goes all the way up. I mean, must be proportional to importance, so they must have some kind of analysis or like a small decisions in this way. So then decision making comes, and in this point we are in the position to make a decision. So they have to understand also that they have like three possible situations, like a low impact. We don't have to take any action, but only to monitor, to keep it on site and to monitor it. Then the second possibility is keep on radar. I mean, to document, to reassess, or to leave it there, but like in a second stage where we have to starting preparing all the documents and so on. And then when we have the claim, so a formal notice is required, and we are going to take the final action to submit the claim. So in this kind of situation, I mean, the lack of resources on site and so on, this kind of situation has like some weaknesses. I mean, a lot of them actually. We don't have what I said, everything that we want to, or we don't have the perfect picture, as I said. But we also have some strengths, and we have to understand it like that. I mean, and this is one of them. As we don't have the whole picture, a complicated structure and a complicated stuff, we can have like a quick operational decision, and mainly in this environment. I mean, in operations and production, we are used to quick decisions and so on. So we have to see it like a strength of this situation of lack of resources. So the work here is also to take profit of this situation. I mean, to be fast, to be quick, and to have everything ready. So the translation of these 4 habits into concrete and low-cost tools that our team can use, something very simple, very practical, that we are implementing in our teams, is like a early warning notice. I mean, something simple, one-page template with plain language related to detection mainly. Weekly red flag checklist. I mean, we'll have like these weekly site meetings when we consider all the aspects of the construction and so on. So it's really important to have like a part of that, like a 5 minutes review item in the weekly meeting related to contractual management. Risks and claim registers is really important to have like a register of everything, a shared spreadsheet, and as I said also in the escalation part, to have this diagram of escalation very clear for the team. So of course, these are minimum viable tools. I mean, they are not a replacement for formal contract management processes in case that we have, or the part that we have in the company or in the project. So this is not a replacement. It's something that tries to be simple and to the processes. But as I said at the beginning in the roadmap, for me, I think that the most important part of this strategy of integrating contract management and contractual awareness in the production and operational staff on site is how to deal with people. I mean, how then to understand the situation, then to understand the working philosophy and the way they have to behave. And we have to manage like in 4 aspects, like 4 key aspects. First is like the training. Of course, we have to give them like a short and practical sessions with real and relevant examples, previous experiences, successful cases. Even if we have some member in our team that could have this experience, like to tell about that and so on. So then to understand that this is not a different part of the of their work, but also a part of it, like integrated in the production. For me, it's also really important, like to have a contractual kickoff meeting, but not like separated. We are always trying to integrate everything. So we are used to these project kickoff meetings at the beginning of the contract and so on. So this kickoff meeting must cover also the key contractual points. I mean, identified risks on the contract, specific notification procedures that we are going to have, escalation contacts. What I said, the goal is to provide with necessary information to the team to get enough knowledge of the contract, to get in touch with the contract, and not to feel the contract as something strange, but something that is part of their work. So then the contract is like to be familiar or a part of them. And actually, we don't have to finish there. I mean, not like to give a speech in the kickoff meeting and that's all. We have to keep it alive and keep it alive during the whole work. I mean, we have to keep this attitude with periodic reminders, shortcut discussion, regular looks at the checklist throughout the life of the project and so on. And periodically and specifically when we have some important events, when we have some important issues that happen on site, I mean, successfully issues or failures that we have detected or whatever, we have to explain that, to analyze that, how to do it, why we fail or why we had this success or whatever. So it's really important. We have to avoid to consider all these things as some kind of bureaucracy or lack of trust on them, or we don't rely on our team or whatever. But they have to understand like a protection for the project, for the contract, for us, for the company, and for themselves. I mean, for the team. So this is especially important when teams they are not skilled or they are not used to this kind of contractual management and so on. So they have to understand the real philosophy is like a protection. It's like it's not something that a paper that we have to submit and that's all. They have to understand that it's a part inside their daily work on site, on production, and so on. And I don't know. Just like summarizing the quote that I gave before, like contract management is not a department, it's a habit of the production team, especially when we have this lack of resources and so on. So thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any question that you could have.
Thank you so much for your presentation. So we still indeed have 6 minutes for questions. Feel free to ask. So I guess, Rafael, the presentation was super clear. No questions. Okay, so
now I can hear you. I lost the coverage for 10 seconds.
Yeah, so we still have a good opportunity of 5 or 6 minutes for comments, reflection, any feedbacks while we're waiting for another speaker for this pillar. Yes, Rafael, everything was super clear. So
yeah, it seems so. It wasn't that complicated, so I guess that